If there's one thing that we can all agree on right now, it's that the prices of eggs are too damn high. Thank you, 10-year-old internet meme. Now, I gave this concept about 3 seconds of thought, so of course TikTok started suggesting videos of this topic, because that's how TikTok works. And in one of those suggested videos, this one came up.
Yes, this right here. I've had chickens all my life, and I've raised my own chickens since 2009, and I've never had them stop laying like this for this long. So I'm just really curious what's going on. I've had so many people reach out and say they're having the same problems. Thank you for sharing.
Now, in that video, there are hundreds and hundreds of comments of people sharing that same sentiment, that their girls just aren't laying. And the causation for those are anything from big corporations to the government is spraying their chickens or something. I'm here to kind of talk about the subject a little bit. This way we can kind of walk through this together. Now, I've been raising chickens for the last couple of years, and I want to tell you that the things that are going on right now are totally normal. Let's put the tinfoil hats away. It's totally normal. We all like to think that chickens are these magical creatures that take our table scraps and convert them into wonderful little butt nuggets. And while that is true, they are not machines. They have certain criteria that need to be met for them to actually produce the eggs. Foremost of those is sunlight. Much like Jor-El, Superman, they get their egg-laying power from the sun. What do we not have this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere? We don't have a lot of sun. So the folks that are thinking, oh, maybe it's my feed, the corporations are cheaping out on the feed, while that may be true, the feed really has nothing to do with it. The girls need light to metabolize the chemicals inside them and form eggs. That's first and foremost. So our lack of light during the day is what's causing them to not lay overnight or first thing in the morning, and it's totally normal. The second thing, just like us, they can feel the temperatures dropping, even though I'm wearing short sleeves on January 5th. They know that the temperature is going to drop, and when they do that, they shed their summer feathers and they put on their winter coat in something called a molt. Quick biology lesson. The same proteins that they would use to put into the egg is the same stuff that they convert into feathers. So their little bodies can only divert the energy really one way. I'm making it simple, but this way it's understandable. So if your hen is getting ready to go into her molt, she's gonna shed her feathers and start building her winter coat on. So that's gonna reduce your egg production at the same time. So these two things kind of converge right in winter. The lack of egg production, again, totally normal, biologically fits in with how they work. The third thing, again, we all think about chickens as these wonderful egg-making machines, and they are. But these birds right here are Niederhire. My hens are Niederhires from Murray McMurray. Murray McMurray classifies these girls as better in the amount of egg-laying category. Even still, being in the better, not the best, they're only laying 200 eggs a year. There's 365 days in a year. That leaves 165 days where they're not laying, which is roughly about 5.5 or 6 months, where if you had a single bird, she's gonna lay half the time. A little bit more, a little bit less. And that's totally normal. That's totally biologically what they're able to produce. When does it happen? Just so happens during the confluence of winter time. How many months is winter? Maybe for you it's 6, for us it's 3. Again, this is totally, totally normal behavior for them. Now, what can you do to increase your egg production? I saw a lot of people that were like, hey, I'm changing my feed and nothing happened. Now again, feed really doesn't have a lot to do with it, but if your girls are going through a molt, raising their protein amount in their feed will help them get through their molt a little bit quicker. A little bit quicker through the molt, a little bit back to egg production. Not bad. Secondly, or 1B, I also noticed if you're out there using the cheapest feed, sometimes the eggs get a little sulfury. Real fresh, their bodies, there's a lot of soy in it, and their eggs get a little sulfury. And I'm not saying you have to go out and buy the most expensive organic clipped butterfly wings or anything like that. But for what I feed my both flocks is the stuff that's just above the bottom. It's a little bit more expensive, but we noticed a significant difference in the eggs. Now, another thing that you could do to increase the egg production or restart it, like I said, the chickens use light to trigger the egg laying process. So if your girls aren't in a molt, you need to get the amount of light that they're in to roughly, depending on who you read, 16 hours a day or so. And so you can put an artificial light in your coop. We don't do that, but I'll get to why not in a minute. What you're gonna wanna do with that is extend the day in the beginning. So you're a farmer or a homesteader, you want to take a look at your astronomical calendar and see when sunup is. It's in the weather every morning, and extend the day for a few hours in the beginning. So perhaps you set up a light with a timer and you kick the lights on in the coop or wherever their laying area is 3 or 4 hours before actual sunup, and then do the math there to get them at about 16 hours of light a day. This will let them know, start kicking these eggs out. Eggs are $6 a dozen now. Come on, let's go. If you really, really, really need eggs, you need to diversify. Not just chickens. Whilst chickens are known for being egg layers, chicken and the egg, etc., you need to diversify what you're growing on your homestead. If you want eggs, get ducks. Ducks do not give a care about the weather, about the daylight, they don't care. And where I said the chickens lay 200 or so eggs a year, maybe 250 depending on the breed, ducks are between 300 and 300 eggs a year. Ducks don't give a care. And another thing, well, two things. One, I can't eat chicken eggs, but I can eat duck eggs. Different kind of protein or something, I don't know. My body doesn't like chicken eggs, but I can eat duck eggs. Secondly, duck eggs are superior to chicken eggs in every way, shape, literally, and form. They're higher in fat content, they're higher in certain vitamins, they bake better, they scramble better, and they overall taste better. I think duck eggs just suffer from bad marketing. I think the incredible edible duck egg doesn't have the same ring to it. One other thing that you could do that might help, but it might not, you should be doing this anyway, regardless of whether they're laying. You're giving supplemental calcium, aren't you? Whether you're doing ducks or chickens, some crushed up eggshells from Tractor Supply is an excellent source of calcium for them. Helps your eggshells get thicker, and I think it kind of increases, gets their juices flowing a little bit. But that's just me. So that's, oh, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 eggs. Let's go check the chickens. $11 to 3. Ducks win. And since the ducks don't stop laying, that's the reason why I don't put artificial light. I let the chickens do their normal rhythm, keep their normal laying rhythm, because these ducks don't care. They're taking care of all of our needs. So here's a last bit of warning. Earlier this year, I had a video go viral on Instagram of me dumping out my excess eggs. I had 10 gallons of eggs that I ended up dumping out and turning into this dirt. There's just too many. I'm not saying that to brag, it's the kind of underside that nobody really talks about. Now, most of the people in the comments trash me and like, you're out of your mind, go donate them, blah, blah, blah. I already fought that fight. That being said, my piece of advice here is to not overcompensate and go and buy a bunch of birds thinking that your birds are defective in some way. The chickens are doing their normal, natural rhythm. Don't go out and buy 10 layers or 12 layers because you think you're gonna get one and you need a dozen. It doesn't work like that, because when everybody's kicking up in high gear, you're going to get dozens of eggs a day. And your neighbors and you are not gonna eat dozens of eggs in a day. Keep your flock a normal, manageable size. It took extensive networking for me to figure out a place to give my excess eggs during the summer, and then that's what we do with them. I give them to a daycare, because she takes care of the kids and she makes some nice farm fresh eggs breakfast. In your case, it could be a church or someone like that. They'll take them and then divvy them out. But that's not always the case. And at least in my area, food banks do not take homegrown food. At least they don't take eggs in my area. So keep that in mind, that when everything is kicking, in a couple months from now, you have to get rid of your excess eggs. So don't overcompensate and buy 50 million birds now thinking that, you know, your grocery bills are too high and you do something rash. It'll come back and bite you in the end. So really, in reality, this is one area where I think we can all kind of relax. We could put away the tinfoil hats and just let the chickens be chicken. There's no reason to get excited for them to be doing what they're biologically and naturally supposed to do. They're gonna take a break. We all need one. So I hope you found this information helpful. There's nothing to be concerned about. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. I know I'm talking about you. It's not a big deal. It's all good. There's nothing wrong.